Dear viewers, have you ever wondered, what trials and tribulations has the land beneath my feet endured to become what it is today? Today, let's journey back in time to Alabama, a land not only of vast forests and tranquil rivers, but also of hidden histories written in blood, sweat, and tears. I am American Odyssey Stories, and in this series, I invite you to explore Alabama's transformation from the ancestral home of resilient indigenous tribes to its admission as the 22nd U.S. state. This is not just a history lesson, but a human story, one of courage, struggle, and the seeds of modern Alabama. Indigenous roots. Long before European arrival, Alabama was home to vibrant indigenous cultures. Imagine, over 10,000 years ago, the first nomadic groups roamed this land, hunting mammoths and gathering wild plants. Over time, they settled, forming powerful tribes like the Creek, Cherokee, and Choctaw. Did you know? The Creek called this land Alibamu, meaning thicket clearers or vegetation gatherers. The name Alabama stems from this legacy. These tribes were not only skilled warriors but also masterful farmers. Their corn, bean, and squash fields stretched along riverbanks, creating a fertile landscape that later left European explorers in awe. European invasion and resilience. Everything changed when European sails appeared on the horizon. In 1540, Spanish conquistador Hernando de Soto led an invasive force, bringing guns and disease. They ravaged villages, plundered resources, and left shattered communities in their wake. This was a tragic chapter, yet it revealed the resilience of indigenous peoples. Despite being pushed back, many tribes quietly preserved their cultures for centuries. But in 1830, the Indian Removal Act forced their relocation westward, a harrowing exodus known as the Trail of Tears. Colonial rivalries and French legacy. The 18th century saw French, British, and Spanish powers vying for control. In 1702, the French established Fort Louis de la Louisiana near Mobile, Alabama's first European settlement. They introduced coffee, shipbuilding, and clashes with the British. Fun fact, French influence lingers in Alabama today. Ever tried gumbo, the hearty Creole stew from the Gulf Coast? That's a culinary legacy from this era. Statehood and contradictions. In 1813, the decisive Battle of Horseshoe Bend saw General Andrew Jackson's forces defeat the Creek, paving the way for white settlers. By 1817, the Alabama Territory was formed, and on December 14, 1819, Alabama became the 22nd U.S. state. But pause for a moment. Do you sense the irony? Alabama joined the Union as a free state. Yet this era sowed the seeds of future conflict, slavery, and states' rights debates that would erupt decades later. Part 2. Turbulent Years, from Civil War to the Dawn of Steel. Dear viewers, if Part 1 was about beginnings, this chapter reveals Alabama's rebirth through fire. As the saying goes, history never sleeps, and for Alabama, the 1860s to early 1900s proved this true. Today, we traverse two wars, one that divided a nation and another to reclaim a future from ashes. Civil War, heart of the Confederacy. In 1861, as Civil War erupted at Fort Sumter, Alabama sided with the Confederacy. Montgomery even briefly served as its first capital. Why did this young state dive into bloodshed? The answer lies in King Cotton. Did you know? Pre-war Alabama was America's cotton kingdom, fueled by enslaved labor. When Lincoln threatened slavery, Alabama seceded. But the cost was steep. Over 120,000 Alabamians perished, leaving wounds still felt today. Reconstruction, free but not equal. Post-war Reconstruction, 1865 to 1877, brought flickering hope and pain. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery, but loopholes like exploitative labor contracts kept many black Alabamians trapped. Yet light persisted. In 1868, ex-slave Benjamin Turner became Alabama's first black congressman. Schools for black children rose, though often burned. By 1870, over 40% of Alabamians were black, demanding their voice. But hope faded fast. By 1874, white supremacists seized power, enacting Jim Crow laws. A freedman once wrote, We were free, but freedom felt like an oversized coat, still cold. Birmingham, the Magic City's steel miracle. Amid darkness, Birmingham emerged like a phoenix. Founded in 1871, it was dubbed the Magic City for its rapid rise. Why? Its trifecta of iron ore, coal, and limestone, all within 30 miles. In 20 years, Birmingham became the South's steel capital, rivaling Pittsburgh. Behind the stats were thousands of workers, black and white, forging a new legacy. As steelworker Henry Fairchild recalled, "My wife stuffed cotton in my pocket each morning. By noon, it soaked through with sweat. She'd use it to mop floors. Their sweat built a renaissance." Part 3, From Struggle to the Stars, Alabama's Modern Metamorphosis. Dear viewers, Alabama's history teaches us, strength lies not in avoiding storms, but in rising after them. This final chapter isn't an end. It's a door to reflection. How did a land of division become a beacon of hope? Let's turn the page. Civil rights, blood, tears, and triumph. In 1955, Rosa Parks' refusal to give up her bus seat in Montgomery ignited the civil rights movement. The 381-day bus boycott followed, with thousands walking miles under scorching sun or rain. Behind the scenes, a young pastor, Martin Luther King Jr., emerged, declaring, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that." But the road was bloody. The 1963 Birmingham church bombing killed 4 black girls. A poet wrote, "Those blood-stained bricks weren't an end. They were the first stones of justice." In 1965, Bloody Sunday in Selma shocked the nation. Yet persistence triumphed. The 1964 Civil Rights Act outlawed segregation. Alabama, once a heart of hatred, became a cradle of justice, space race, and modern reinvention. As wounds healed, Alabama reached for the stars. In the 1960s, Huntsville became the Rocket City, where Wernher von Braun's team developed the Saturn V rocket, the backbone of the moon landing. When Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon in 1969, Alabama's engineers had etched their legacy. Visit the U.S. Space and Rocket Center today, and you'll find the wooden desk where those dreams were drafted. 21st century Renaissance. Today's Alabama still surprises. During COVID-19, Birmingham scientists aided vaccine development. Cotton fields now host solar farms. Mobile, once scarred by war, hosts Mardi Gras, America's second largest. Alabama's history is like an ancient oak, scarred by fire, yet regrowing taller and greener each time. Its strength lies in people who never surrender. Epilogue. We've journeyed through 200 years, from Creek homelands to the stars. If history is a book, Alabama teaches us to rise above prejudice. But the real story isn't in dates or events. It's in freed children's first school days, steelworkers clasped hands in fiery mills, and astronauts' laughter as rockets soared. Now it's your turn. If you stood on Alabama's riverbanks, what would you tell past generations? Have you visited or cherished memories here? Share below. If this moved you, hit like and subscribe. Your support fuels our quest to uncover history's poetry. Remember, history isn't confined to books. It's the breath of those who lived, loved, and dared to dream. Hold on to those dreams, for Alabama and for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Thank you and see you next time.